Hi guys, so sorry. I think so my line had problem again, of course. We'll just wait for Priscilla to come back. Let us know if was it my line or did you guys manage to see Priscilla better? We'll just wait for Priscilla and others to come back. Priscilla was fine. Okay, then it's my line then. Oh dear. Jap, let me go in. Just the Rimba line was choppy. Yep. U-Mobile. I'm using U-Mobile.
Yay!
Hi
is it
again.
working again? Yeah, a bit of problem with the connection.
Because now U-Mobile has problem.
Ah, that's why. I was wondering if it was me or you, so yeah.
So sorry guys. Alright, we are back again. So I think so the audience managed to catch what you said just now. Like how are you keeping up with the MCO?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those who are here, yourself and night spotting project to our audience.
Yes, so my name is Priscillia. I'm from France and I've been living in Malaysia for 2.5 years already. I'm a student here in USM in Penang. So I study as part of my PhD, where I study nocturnal mammals. And here in Langkawi, we started night spotting project, more to bring awareness on some animals that people might not know. Like, for example, colugos. Most people have no idea what it is. So that was part of the project. And do a bit of research also.
The audience, do you know what is a colugo? Alright, so what kind of animals, because night spotting project, like it's assumed that you do a lot of work at night. You go out at night to look for animals. So what kind of animals have you spotted throughout your research adventures?
Yeah, so I was really lucky actually because it's been now 8 years I go in the forest around Asia, like Malaysia, Borneo, Indonesia, a lot of places. And I was really lucky to see some of the most, I would say, like amazing animals to see in the forest, like elephants, leopard cats, binturong, pangolin, all those like really rare animal that you don't normally see often. So that's something I remember. The clouded leopard, I was like, whoa, yeah, that's amazing. I was like, whoa. So yeah, those kind of animals that you don't normally see. But of course, all the other one I see most of the time, like slow lories, they're quite amazing. Or the tarsier, for the one of you who know what it is. All those kind of animals. I mean, everything in the forest is just amazing. Yeah.
How you said when you came across the leopard, how was your reaction when you saw the leopard? Like, were you like so shocked that you couldn't move, or the leopard just ran away quickly?
Yeah, so actually it was really interesting because I had my camera with me. And when we saw it, I didn't even think about trying to take a picture because we were just like trying to watch it. And it was just really like few seconds because he was hiding behind the bush. But it was just, yeah, you cannot do anything. You're just like so impressed that it's there that you forgot that you have a camera with you. So yeah.
So normally animals will just run away from you, It's not like they're going to attack you or anything first, right?
No, attacks honestly in the forest, it's really, really rare. As long as you know, the safety rules like never run, never shout, you're mostly fine. Animals are not going to attack you in purpose most of the time, so yeah.
Can you let the audience know what's your research project is about for the night spotting project? And you study behavior on small mammals.
Yeah, so we focus on nocturnal mammals, behavior, distribution, a bit of everything about them, really, like their ecology. But at the moment, we really focus on the colugos, just because we don't really know enough about them yet. For example, like why they're important for us, where do they live, how many of them are left, how many species. We don't even know how many species are out there. At the moment, there is only 2, but we know there is more. But yeah, there's so many animals like them, or for example, also the flying squirrels. They are really interesting. Yeah.
So these are all the animals that only comes out at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to work at night and sleep during the day. Yeah.
For an ecologist to study nocturnal animals, you have to be the nocturnal animal yourself. Yeah. So your study area is in Langkawi.
Yes. So for my study, my personal study, I also did Penang Island, Penang, Langkawi, and I also went a bit to the mainland, to different sites. Like for example, I went to Batu Cave in KL, Merapo, Ulu Muda, and all these places. I was just like quick survey, try to see what I can see. And something really interesting, kulugos, I could never find them. I know they are there, but I don't know where they're hiding. So I need, I think, more time to figure that out. Yeah.
Because they're very good at camouflage. I've done NSP at before and see how Priscilla and her interns did their research, and it's really a challenge to try to visually see an animal at night in the dark with just like one small light. Yeah, I mean, like when I've done with Langer Project Penang, we have binoculars to look for langurs up in the tree, so we had that tool to use. But at night we couldn't really like use a bino, so you really need to use like the power of your eyes to make like a
Yeah,
strong.
so yeah, actually we started using binoculars a little bit, but the problem is with the red light that we use, it's really not strong and it's really hard to, let's say that, to focus and like really look. But after a while, I guess you get used to it, so that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've used other tools also, right? Besides the red light, like you have the heat vision or something like that.
The thermal vision, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thermal will take the heat of the body, so you don't need any lights. So it's amazing in the forest. You can see everything.
All right. So to let you guys know, I've joined Priscilla for a short while in Langkawi on her research project, and then interestingly, like the site that we were at was at a golf course, and another area is nearby to where Priscilla is living right now. It's like kind of like a semi-urban like area. And who could have thought that we have animals that live at a golf course? You know, that was really like my first time, and it was really amazed at how animals are able to like strive and adapt to different habitat. And besides that, like before that, also we've been to Merapo, like what Priscilla mentioned before. And interestingly, we did not like how in Langkawi we spotted a lot of colugos, and then when in Merapo forest, we didn't see a single colugo. And yeah, like what do you think from your research could be the reason why you can find this animal like closer to a human habitat?
Yeah, so this is actually a really good question because when people think about animal rights, you think, oh, you have to go deep in the jungle. You know, you have to trek for hours and then you can see animal. But it's not true. Like actually, most animals nowadays, they live really close to people. And for a few reasons. One of them is food. Because near to people, for them, there's a lot of food. For example, you have lights, you attract insects. So for animal with insects, it's really good. Or like, for example, for fruits, there's more fruits near people because we plant a lot of trees like mango, durian, things like that. So the animal, they also come for those kind of trees. And so that's why you can actually find them in places that you don't think you will find them, like a lot, more than the forest sometimes. Like, for example, the colugos, we see them more outside of the forest than inside of the forest. And that's really, really interesting. Even by my house, it's like a busy street road, right? You remember? And I was pretty shocked to find those animals there because there's maybe like a row of trees on each side of the road, and that's all. There's no forest, there is nothing, but they're still there. So, yeah.
And it need to be like an area where there's some kind of a height, like a tree height, for them to glide to another tree.
Yes, but even that, they don't really need really high trees. Yeah, can you still hear me? Yeah. And I think it depends more on food availability, really. As long as they have food and they can survive and enough place to move, that's all. Yeah.
Okay, we have a question from Balkis. She asks, have you encountered any interesting nocturnal animals in Gunung Raya, Langkawi?
Yes, so Gunung Raya is actually a really, really nice place because you have a lot of animal there. You can see everything. Most of the nocturnal mammals, if you're also interested about other animals, they're all there. Because it's like it's really a forest that is not touched, so for them it's really good. And because you have a big road in the middle, it's actually really easy to spot animals there.
Okay, so we have another question also from Balkis. Let me check. Can you recommend the best time to do night spotting?
That's actually a really good question. There's actually a few times that are better to see animals, but it also depend on their behavior. So the best time I would say is just after or during sunset, because that's when most of the animal will become active. So between like 7:30 and 10 o'clock, that's the best time. You can also go before sunrise. And I would say that the best times to go, because if you go in the middle of the night, it really depends on the species. But again, it depends. Like some animals, they might prefer going out around midnight. Like a lot of species like slow loris or flying squirrels, you will see them more later in the night. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, there's a question from UU_Kira. She asked how possible that happened, evolution. I think so. UU, are you referring to possible? How do the animals know that they need to like go up to a higher area?
You mean the tree that they need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because they glide, they can glide really long distances, like up to 150 meter. And you don't realize how far that is until you try to actually follow them. And then sometimes you think the trees are too far from each other, but they are not. So for them, yeah, they can adapt quite well to certain condition of like disturbance. Yeah, as long as there's a bit of tree for them to move in. Yeah.
And you're really, really fast, it's not just like a slow and it's like a whoosh. You need to be
Oh
really
no, it's
quick.
like 2 seconds and it's gone. Yeah.
There's two questions from Anna. One is, what is a colugos predator and what is its diet?
So the predator of colugos, I think because we study them now on the islands, they don't have many predators. Here so far we have seen like the small-toothed palm civets eating colugos. But we know that, for example, like leopards or pythons or owls or even eagle, they can eat colugos. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. How many?
And about
There's
the
the
diet, right?
colugos and there's.
Yeah, before we move on, so colugos, they mostly eat leaf. So leaf is more than 80% of their diets. And then after they will eat some stuff like, for example, flowers, or they can eat some, they love the lichen on the tree. So they will take that. And recently we also found out they actually eat soil from old termite nests. So that's actually really cool. And this kind of item, they don't eat often. It's more, when they're sick, like us, when we are sick, we also take some soil to make us better. So it's the same.
I see.
Yeah.
That's cool. So there's different types of like gliding animals. There's the flying squirrel. There's the colugo. So colugo is actually is it like a kind of squirrel or is it a primate?
So that's actually a question I'm still struggling to answer all the time. So colugos is not a squirrel at all. They are not related to squirrel. They're actually related to primates, but they are not a primates. They are just what we call the really old group of mammals that were gliding, and they kind of all went extinct, except the colugos that's still there today. So it's really interesting because they are really different from every other animal. But at some point in time, there was more gliding mammals actually. Yeah, so that's why now we still have the colugo and the squirrel left.
I see. So do you know like how many gliding species of mammals are there?
So in Malaysia, so far we have only one species of colugos recognized, but we know there is maybe 2 to 3. And then for the flying squirrels, there is around 15 species. But again, the same. The studies are really rare and maybe more. We don't know. Yeah.
So for those out there, if you're interested to do more studies on nocturnal mammals and live a life, you know, being awake at night and sleeping in the day, you could consider joining Priscilla for a first-hand experience and then probably do your own research in this.
Yeah, it sounds scary to work at night, but it's really cool.
Yeah. There's a question from Anna. She asked, do you have any tips when using the red lights? Is it because it's hard to walk using red lights?
Yeah, so this really depends on the torchlight you're using. Most of the torchlight that we can find, they are not really good with the red lights. So what I recommend is finding a really, really bright white light. And you can buy something that's called a red gel in a camera shop. So it's like a red paper that you can put in front of your head torch. And like that, you can really see much better with the red lights. It's just because the one available on the market, they are not really good. The one we can find here in Malaysia.
I see. And it's better to use red light when you are doing night animals instead of the normal torchlight because it will disturb the animals, correct?
Yeah, so it really depends what animal you're looking for. If you're looking for frogs or snakes, white light is fine. And also because you will see their body, you know, they shine a little bit. So you need that. Because with the red light, you won't see any snakes or frog. It's really hard, but it's just for the mammals. Because the mammals, they have really sensitive eyes. And they actually don't see red lights. So when you use red lights, you won't hurt their eyes. They won't run away from you. You can see them way longer. So that's why, and we actually finished a study that we are going to publish soon. So we are really excited about that because it's really showing, yeah, really excited why we should never use white light for mammals, but yeah, for nocturnal mammals.
There's a question from Zizi how does thermal imaging work? I want to know more about thermal imaging.
Yeah, so thermal imaging is something really amazing for me because in the past I didn't have that tool to study animal at night and it was really hard. So the thermal imaging, it will take the heat of your body. So any animal that have heat, like mammals, you can actually see it without any lights. So it's really, really practical in the forest because even if you have, like, for example, a lot of leaves or, you know, it's quite dense, you can still see the animal. So it's really good.
In terms of colugo, it's does it live in a group or is it like a solitary animal?
Yeah, so actually, a lot of people think all the nocturnal animals are solitary, but it's not really true for all of them. Like, for example, slow loris, they are not, they live in groups. And colugos, we recently found that they actually live in big groups. We still need to do more research, but from our first analysis, we can see that female have a really clear range where they stay with their offspring, with the babies. But you have like maybe a few female in one area, and the male, it's really interesting because the male, they will just go around, they don't care. They just go around all the females, they just glide around. But the female tend to stay separate from each other.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a group structure, but we still don't really know how big is the group, how many individuals, so we still need that. Yeah.
So, sorry if my questions like jumping here and there, it's just whatever that I can think of right now.
That's okay.
I've also seen like through Night Spotting's projects, updates on social media that you guys also like collaborate with local groups in Langkawi to do things like beach cleanups. So what else do NSP do besides field work?
Yeah, so like you said, we do a lot of other stuff. We try to be engaged as much as possible. But now the situation is not the best because we cannot really do anything anymore. But we used to do like a lot of activities with the public. For example, we bring people out in the forest. We had few groups here in Langkawi, and we also did a lot in Penang with kids, parents. We also do like school talks. Or for example, if there is a market, we have a stand there and we can present what we are doing. So we just talk to the general public. And we were really trying to do more. So hopefully after all this MCO is finished, we can start again and do a bit more work with everyone here in Langkawi.
How's the public's response towards the Kolugo? Like, are the people like in Langkawi aware of the existence of Kolugos, or are they not aware of it?
So in Langkawi, it's really interesting because actually most people know about Kolugos here. And I think it's because it's kind of an island with not a lot of people. It's still like a rural area. So everyone have a garden. So a lot of people say, oh yeah, I saw it in my garden. Sometimes they fell on the floor, so we have to put them back on the tree. And this is really interesting because when I was in Penang, no one knows about Kolugos. So I think it really depends in the area where people live in. Yeah.
You mentioned just now when the Kolugos fall onto the ground, the person pick it up to the tree. If let's say in a natural state, if a Kolugo ever to fall on the ground, is it able to climb back up a tree? Does it ever go to the ground?
Yeah, so normally they don't really go to the ground, but it happens sometimes, you know, when you have really strong wind, for example, if the animal is a bit weak, or if they're scared. I've seen it myself. One Kolugo was scared of me and he fell on the ground. And I was like, what? What just happened? And then he tried to go back to the tree. So it was kind of okay. He could go back in. But for example, you know, if you have like dogs around or cats, that might be an issue. So that's why people say they pick it up and then they put it back on the tree.
So yeah. Is that human-animal interaction okay for the sake of helping, or is it best to let them like climb it up themselves?
I mean, the best is to see how the animal is reacting. If he's moving back toward the tree, it's better to let him be. But if you see that he's struggling a bit, in this case, it's better to take it and put it in the tree. But it's good to take like a blanket or something, never touch it with your hands, because Kolugos have really, really sharp claws and they bite like hell. I had special gloves and they managed to bite through it and it was not nice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Interesting question by Anna, a question that I was about to ask also. Is Kolugo being illegally pet trade?
So actually, yes. So there's few people who keep them as pets. And especially, yes, it's illegal because they are protected by law in Malaysia. But most people don't even know what it is or that they're even protected. And the big issue with Kolugos is they don't stay in captivity, they die really fast. Because there is not a single zoo in the world that can keep them in captivity. There's no one nowadays who know enough about their biology, their needs, or even their feeding, you know, like what kind of food do they really need. So a lot of vets told me that it's easy to raise a baby, but then after, when they become adult, they don't survive. And we still don't know why, so yeah.
Mysterious creatures, very mysterious. With you know, with the MCO going on, so is what is NSP currently doing? Like fieldwork is definitely like you come to a halt. So but what else? Like, do you shift your work doing more online publications?
Yeah, so of course we cannot go in the forest, but for example, we have a lot of data to analyze. So we can focus on like writing, you know, scientific papers, try to publish some information that we have about them. So that's mainly what we're doing. And also, of course, online, do a lot of outreach. We've been posting a lot of videos, you know, post like every day, just to keep, you know, people engaged and know more about Kolugos. And so far we had really good response, and especially because I'm sure you've seen that viral video online with the Kolugos, you know, that was going on recently, like 3 weeks ago or something like that. There was a post online and it, you didn't see it, right?
No, I didn't see. First time
Yeah,
hearing
so
about
it
this.
went viral, and we just
Okay.
decided to do like 2 small pieces, you know, explaining what is a kolugo, what you should do. And it's been shared everywhere. So we were really happy because at least people get a bit more information about them. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys were to ever like visit NSP's page, NSP is doing something really cool now, which is they're sharing about folk tales, folklores of animals, nocturnal animals, and it's really cool to read it out from a book by yeah, doing it. Yeah, really interesting to go and read. Like, you guys go and check the page. So there's a question by Anna. She also asked, do you know any superstition around they got traded for the is it two different?
Yeah, so far we don't really hear a lot about the trade for body parts. But again, it might depend on countries because in Malaysia, in general, with even other animals, body parts are not a big thing. You know, like for example, if we take slow loris, in Indonesia or Thailand, Vietnam, there is a lot going on. But in Malaysia, there's not that much trade for body parts. It's mostly for live animal. But kolugos, I guess we just don't know enough yet. And online, we've not seen any body parts or anything. We know they are mostly killed when farmers find them inside the plantations, because in orchard tree they think that they eat the fruits and they are pests, even it's not really the case. They're actually helping the trees, but so far no trade for body parts.
How about superstition?
Yes, so we started recently to collect some information about kolugos, so we're still like beginning stage. But we had one really interesting story is that if kolugos peed in your eyes, you become blind. So I'm not really sure where they're coming from because you really have to be, you know, under the tree and the kolugo have to pee on you, but I don't know. I don't know really the story behind that.
There's a lot of superstition of, you know, if any animal pee on you, you will go blind. Like if a frog pee on you, you'll go blind also. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something behind it. Maybe because I don't know, you know, the pee is a bit acidic. I don't know. No idea. Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, can go try. Let us know.
Huh? Maybe we can do a
Joke,
study on that.
the study on that. Yeah. Get a few scores
Yeah.
of sit.
You want to volunteer?
MCO, MCO.
MCO, yeah. Good answer.
I've seen like you just now was really interested. Like she has a lot of response that towards all the answers that you've given. So probably probably that we will have like those who are interested to participate with NSP. Hopefully after when MCO is over. So do you still like accept interns and volunteers, and how can we reach you?
Yeah, so anyone who want to contact us, you can go through our Facebook page or Instagram, Night Spotting Project. Yes, we still welcome interns and volunteers. So right now I have an intern who's coming at the end of this month. So hopefully MCO will be finished and she can work. But yeah, we can do a lot of different subjects. So like I said, we study behavior. We are going to do a study on their camouflage ability. We can do study about their range, their diet, social behavior, or also, you know, like parental care, how the mom take care of the babies. There is so much, you know, we don't really know about their behavior because I think we are the first to ever do like this long of a behavior survey. There was another one in Philippines a few years back, but it was really like a short-term survey on general behavior. So nothing in depth or nothing, yeah, nothing like that yet. And also there is, yeah. Yeah, and also actually, even if the MCO is still here, we are going to post soon online because we have a lot of opportunity for remote work. Like, for example, if someone wants to do an internship but cannot come to Langkawi, we can do stuff on the computer, like you said, like trade, like online trade of kolugos. or like trying to figure out more information about them. Or we even have data we can analyze remotely, so that's not a big issue also.
Interesting. In terms of the diet, I'm jumping back to diet now. Have you
Yeah,
had
it's okay.
what kind of plants do they feed on? Like, do they feed on like the jackfruit, or like what are the types of plants that they feed on?
Yeah, so we've not really done any like really good survey on that yet, because we actually have a student, Fizri, with us, who's doing his master at USM, and he's going to do that. But we know that they looks like there is certain species that they eat and certain species they avoid. So it could be because they eat a lot of leaves. So it could be, for example, what's inside the leaves, could be toxic, so they might not eat it. Or like, for example, they eat some flowers, like I said. So flowers, we've seen them eating Joyan flowers, things like that. So that's really interesting. And also fruits is really rare, but so far we've seen them eating the small unripe figs, but that's all. We've not seen them eating any other fruits. Yeah, I think it's too much sugar in them on the other one, because they are not really eating a lot of them. It's really once in a while per year, so not a big thing.
Do they have any like interactions with other animals?
Yeah, so far at the golf course, because here in the site a bit disturbed, we don't really have a lot of animals. But we've seen some interaction with the flying squirrel, the red giant flying squirrel, where often they kind of chase each other. We don't really know what's going on yet. Or the flying squirrel trying to maybe catch the colugos. We don't really know. So yeah.
Wow, very interesting. All these
Yeah.
cute animal behavior. Also, speaking of red giant flying squirrel, we just recently published a paper on a rare sighting of a red giant flying squirrel in Merapo. Wow, could you share with us what was the writing on?
Yeah, so that's actually interesting because you were there also. Yeah, so those squirrel are not really well studied. So we actually saw them on a limestone hill. And that was really interesting because it's not really reported a lot. And it could be for a few things. It could be for like shelter, or it could be for leaking, salt and minerals from the stones, because a lot of animals do that actually to supplement their diets. So yeah, we just published that just to bring a bit more information, because yeah, we need to know more about those squirrels also. Yeah.
There's a question by Hannah. How many babies can colugos have at one time, and gestation period?
Okay. So this is really interesting. So colugos have only one baby, but actually once I saw twins. We have one, and their gestation period is around, we are not really sure yet, but around 3 to 4 months, maybe, yeah, more around 3 months. Yeah. Oh, like do like this kind of work.
Yeah.
Well, the only advice I could give is, if you really like this kind of work, or you think you really like and want to do that, you just have to fight for it, because it's not always easy. There's not always, opportunities, because even me, for my PhD, I just developed the project by myself, find all the funding, everything. So it's not that easy, but it's so rewarding in the end, because you just, do something that you really like. All those animals, we need more work on them. And also, people say why. They're important for people, and we need to know why they are there and why we need to protect them. So I will just give anyone the advice: if you really want to do it, just go for it. And yeah, it's just worth it in the end, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Anna has a question. Have you seen them fight for territory, mate privilege, food, or to be leaders?
So yeah, that's a really good question. So actually, colugos are really quiet most of the time, even if we know they make some sound. But we've seen some fighting, and it's really loud. You can really hear it through the forest. But we are not really sure when do they fight, because is it when they mate, or is it like territory problems? We are not really sure because we don't really see them often. They are mostly really peaceful animals in general. They never fight for food. We've seen few colugos on the same trees, like for example, sometime up to 6. So they don't mind being around each other. So that's really interesting. And to be leaders, that's something because we just find out about the group structure, so we don't really know what's going on. If, for example, there is what we call leader or not in the group, we don't know. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna request for you guys if you have any more questions. For the last few questions, we can accept. For Priscilla, do you have any like photos or videos of colugos or other small mammals that you could share with us?
Yeah, so I just prepared a few so I can show you with the phone. So because I don't see my camera, so I hope it's in the middle of the camera. Let me know. Okay. So here is the colugo mom and the baby. If you can see it properly.
I think so. The camera need to go down a bit.
Down a bit, right? Like
yes,
this?
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the colugo mom and baby resting during the day. So that was taken on Penang Hill. So that's really cute. We have another one here. So we think this is the female with the baby, but we don't know if the other animal is the male, so the father, or maybe one of the juvenile of the mom. We don't know. So we assume it's the dad, but we are not really sure. They often do that. They come say hi to each other. So it's really cute. Here is a really nice one with the red lights. This one is really, really cute. He just woke up. We were really close to him. This is to show everyone what the thermal imaging looks like. So you can really just see like the white patch of the body. So it's really easy for us to see them at night. So this is the slow loris. For those of you who don't really know what it looks like, big, big, bright eyes, really cute.
Wow.
And then this is the red giant squirrel I was talking about. So those animals are really big. Huh? They are the size of a big, big cat. So they are quite big. Yeah, and then I can just show you a quick video of colugos. I think I can start from here. You can find this video online on our project. I don't know if you can see the little baby's head going out. It's really cute.
Yeah, you can see it moving.
Yeah, so that was just like, and this one was the one with the red light when it's going to wake up and start to move. Yeah, so that was just a little bit, but we have all of this online if people want to have a look.
All right. Okay. Last two questions. There's from Anna. Are they monotonous?
Monotonous. Oh, monogamous, right? I think.
Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Monogamous?
Yeah. So that's the thing we don't know, because we don't think so. Because when they actually mate, we can see one female being chased by up to 3 male, and the male will fight for the female. I mean, kind of fight. They will just, the female will glide from one tree to another, and then the male will follow. And then they come a little bit closer. We've seen it. It was really cute. They come, they try to bite her a little bit, and if she don't want, she just go away. It's really funny. So we don't think they are monogamous. We think they actually just mate because, like I said, we have a few female, right? And the male are going around all those females. So no, I think it's more like they share the same space and they all reproduce together.
So cool. All right. Final questions from Zizi How How. What does the Colugo have for a defense mechanism?
Yeah, so that's the study we are going to do soon. So the main Colugo defense mechanism is actually their camouflage. Because when they're on the trunk of the tree or on a branch, they look so similar to the background that at the beginning it was really hard to spot them. Now we are used to it, so it gets easier. But if you don't know what to look for, you will never see them.
All right. So yeah, okay, probably just a bit more sharing from me. In University of Malaya, there's a patch of forest called Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden. And from a senior of mine, he mentioned that about 10 years ago, that was the last sighting of a colugo that anyone ever realized there's a colugo in the garden. It's a part garden, part forest. So it's very interesting. I don't know whether it's still there. We've only like a few years back only also that we've realized there's not realized, but we've known that there's owls, but we've been seeing sightings of owls quite often. And yeah, I'm really keen to know if there's any colugo.
We should organize something one day and go there.
Yeah. It's a really patch of area, but with your expertise, I think so you know where exactly to find the colugo.
Yeah, because it's easy to miss them, you know, like even slow loris, people say, you know, slow loris are really rare. But even when I was on Penang Island, I couldn't find them almost everywhere. There was not a lot of them, but they were there. So it's really a matter of knowing where to look for. Yeah.
We'll see, hopefully see next year or something.
we organize. Yeah, when we can go out in the forest again.
Yeah. We're all missing the forest right now, all the ecologists.
Yeah, I know. Once we can go out, we all run and just hide for a few days.
Yeah, forest people. Hey, Kyra, you want to finish already? You just. All right, so that's all for our session for today. There's actually like a what you call a wildlife photography kind of talk going on at 3 p.m. and I'm interested to catch that talk. So yeah, all right. That's the end of our session. So thank you so much, Priscilla, for spending this 1 hour with us to talk with us about Colugo.
Yeah, so thank you for everything. And yeah, it was really interesting. And if more people have questions, just email us, contact. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to follow Night Spotting Project. It's at Night Spotting Project for Instagram, and Facebook is the same thing also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, now everyone's saying thank you to Priscilla. Zizi Hao said thank you. Changmin said thanks, Priscilla.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Hey, just for clarification, there's an I before A, right, in your name?
My name is complicated. I'm so used to be called a lot of different names. I don't even realize anymore. Yeah.
All right, so any spelling is acceptable to Priscilla.
Yeah, it's totally acceptable.
Awesome. Kyron said, awesome project. Woo. All right, so
thank you. Yeah.
We shall end here. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for watching. This is our final Instalive interview. Maybe we'll have more in the future. I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything. Thank you for all those loyal viewers. And yeah, so I'm going to say goodbye to everyone now. So bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Selamat tinggal.
All right, bye.